Now, the Nigeria Tax Act 2025, which takes effect on January 1st, 2026, consolidates more than 60 different taxes into one framework. While designed as a landmark reform, it has sparked public concern over possible high tax burdens, controversial VAT proposals, and the restructuring of revenue agencies. Against this backdrop, Trust TV's Nuel Samson spoke with economists to provide insight on the implications.
The new tax act is aimed at doubling Nigerians' tax to GDP ratio in the coming years. It exempts low-income earners and small businesses, but introduces a 4% development levy, a minimum 15% tax on large firms, an expanded VAT and digital tax regime, higher capital gains tax, and replaces pioneer status initiatives with tax credits. Despite these assurances, questions remain: how effectively will this act protect low-income earners and small businesses, and how transparent will the system be?
It is progressive in nature. So from what they said, that simply means progressively, the more you make money, the more you pay. However, let's still emphasize on 800,000. So I don't think by the time it is January, with the way the economy is going, I don't think some Nigerians will be under that. That's just. But in terms of small business, yes, Nigeria will be free to an extent.
Some of these 1% of income here, that percent of income here paid for several kind of funds. They have also been scrapped. All of them have been put together into one bowl. 4% of your income tax going for all of those things, so you don't have to make all those payments. What it does is also it has streamlined your tax payment processes. So the level of technicalities involved now has reduced. On paper, it looks very nice. It looks transparent. But again, a system is as transparent as the people who run it. So if the people who are going to run it decides to be dubious, even the system itself cannot fight them.
Another sticking point is the 5% fuel levy, a surcharge on petrol and diesel under the new act. The levy revives an old FEMA law to fund road maintenance and transport infrastructure and excludes kerosene, cooking gas, CNG, and renewables. Economists weigh in on the impact of the levy.
Well, first and foremost, I'm advocating that Nigeria government should stop that tax. At worst, they should reduce it to like at least 1% or 2%. Because when you say 5%, that simply means if I'm buying 1 liter of fuel, as it is now, I'm going to pay 51 naira. If I buy 5 liters, I'm going to pay 255 naira. That is too much cumulatively. Do you know that there are hardly way you can transport that use PMS? It's also hard that for you to do business, to an extent that without you powering your generator and whatever, and you have to use all this PMS and what have you to generate. So for me, it's either describe it, because you cannot at this point, start taxing that area too. Though they said it has been there before 2007 that they didn't implement because they are doing fresh subsidy, but also give us that grace to actually breathe.
The issue of the 5% surcharge on petroleum products, that for me, I wouldn't have gone that way. I think we could have dropped that, because what it means is that we are going to increase the cost of energy. Cost of energy will go directly into cost of production and operation of small businesses and other forms of businesses. And what happens afterwards, the price at which you sell your product is your cost plus your margin. So if the cost go up, price will go up. And if price goes up, what's happening? Inflation.
They also addressed how the government intends to eliminate illegal dues by non-state actors and stop unregistered tax agents from exploiting taxpayers.
So you must have a platform whereby those that are collecting on your behalf will be known, so that we can separate people that are fraudulent from people that are real.
To get more people into the tax net, you have to simplify the process of getting into the tax net and the process of paying. So we have to remove as much as possible third parties, so that I don't have to go through different people before I'm able to pay. It makes it easy. The money that gets to the government becomes even more if we eliminate all these people.
According to experts, the Tax Act represents one of Nigeria's boldest fiscal reforms, consolidating more than a dozen outdated tax status while setting a unified framework for personal income tax, corporate tax, VAT, capital gains, and overall fiscal governance. Nuel, Samson. Trust TV News, Abuja.